Let's get some music on here. Just hope I don't get any strikes. Dudes, I got a belated birthday present from my pops. I just got home today, and I got a package in the mail from cheapgraphicnovels.com. I told my dad about, where to order me graphic novels. I gave him a list of books that I wanted. I strongly hinted at my old man. I'm like, get me these books, hint, hint, hint. But I gave him a list. He told me he got about, I think, 6 books from the list. I gave him like a list of like 10 books, I think. So I'm pretty certain I know which books are in here. I mean, I got a pretty high percentage, but I wanted to share it with you guys. cheapgraphicnovels.com again. Hopefully they knock it out of the ballpark again. Last time I opened up a package from them, everything was in perfect condition. I want to thank everybody who left a comment on my 1-year anniversary haul. The last video I put up, thank you. I'm going to be answering all the comments probably tomorrow night. So thank you everybody who left me a comment. And if I missed you in the shout out, let me know down below. Alright, to the unboxing. I got my mini Sudoku knife here. Open this baby up. 1,000 points if anyone can name that theme song. If you know that theme song, you probably know what graphic novels I'm getting right now. Alright, again, this is all packed up in newspaper, nice and tight. Nothing's going to be moving around in here. And I do plan on ordering graphic novels next time from one of the other services that you guys mentioned. I hope this isn't too loud. Let me move this back here, actually. And, hopefully, it'll be closer than cheapgraphicnovels.com, because I'm all the way in New York, and Cheap Graphic Novels is in, like, Long Beach, California, so it takes about, I don't know, 10 days for the stuff to get here, because my dad told me a while ago when he ordered this stuff. Alright, so these are all in great shape, by the way. Let me get these out. Alright, dudes, let me start with the B.P.R.D. And there's some cheap graphic novels information there. No, I am not being paid by them, folks. Alright, I don't think there's an invoice in here because it was sent as a gift. So, alright guys, here's what Pops got me. He got me B.P.R.D. Plague of Frogs, number 3. That is Ben Daimo. I might have pronounced his name wrong. He became the leader of B.P.R.D. in book 2. And I gotta tell you, I read book 2. I actually got that book when I was up in Maine. My girlfriend actually got it for me as part of my birthday present. I am still going to be doing a Coast City Comics haul. That's coming out soon. That was part of that haul. Ben Daimo. Mysterious character, man. Actually, in the second book, you're introduced to him. He's tough. He's no nonsense. He actually, came back from the dead or was believed to be dead. That's how we were introduced to Ben. He actually cut himself out of a body bag. It's great. It was, spooky. They show the morgue. They show the body bags. The body bag actually rises up, like he's laying on the slab, sits up in the seated position with the body bag still on, pokes a knife through it, and cuts himself out of the body bag. And that's how we're introduced to Ben Daimo. So this story is going to tell more about what happened to Ben Daimo in the jungles of Bolivia. So I can't wait to read that. The last B.P.R.D. book that I had, Plague of Frogs number 2, you learn a lot about Abe Sapien. You learn a lot about the origins of who Abe Sapien was before he became, amphibious Abe Sapien. So I'm not going to ruin things for that for you guys, but if you want to read who Abe Sapien was before he became, the amphibious guy, and if you don't know who I'm talking about, Abe Sapien, he looks like a reptile man. That's Abe Sapien right here. He's a reptile man. and he's probably one of my favorite characters in the B.P.R.D. I love B.P.R.D. It stands for the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense. It's a shoot-off of Hellboy. Hellboy was once part of B.P.R.D. He eventually got tired of B.P.R.D. and he left it. Now, I was always a Hellboy fan first, but I've grown to really like the B.P.R.D. better because there's just so much cohesion and so much great storytelling between the characters of B.P.R.D. Now, if you saw the Hellboy movies that were directed by Benicio del Toro, you were introduced to a lot of the characters of the B.P.R.D. They had Liz Sherman, they had Abe Sapien, Buttonholm, I might have said Broomholm. He was the father of Hellboy. He's the one who found Hellboy. Actually, in B.P.R.D., he's dead. If you want to learn more about Broomholm, you got to read B.P.R.D. 1946 to 48, which actually gets into the history of the B.P.R.D. How was the B.P.R.D. founded? And it kind of talks more about the origins of Broomholm. Anyway, I'm going to go off on a million tangents here, so I'm sorry. In the second movie, you got introduced to Johann Kraus. And there's a few members in the B.P.R.D. that you're not introduced to. You're not introduced to Roger, who is a homunculus. And if you don't know what that is, a homunculus comes to life by putting sperm mixed with some herbs in a pile of manure, and then out sprouts a homunculus. I don't even know if I've said that right. And Dr. Kate Corrigan, who also is one of the leaders of B.P.R.D., she's a professor from New York University who specializes in the occult. So if you like stories about monsters with like a horror bent, there's the crew right there. There's Ben Daimo, there's Roger the homunculus, there's Abe Sapien, Liz Sherman, Liz Corrigan, or Kate Corrigan, sorry, and Mr. Johann, who is a disembodied spirit, and he resides in a suit, a special containment suit. So I'm just looking forward to this. This has a lot of great people working on this, mainly the storytelling of John Arcudi and the artwork of Guy Davis. He pretty much was in this cycle all throughout. So the Plague of Frogs is known as the first cycle of B.P.R.D. We're now in the second cycle of B.P.R.D., which is Hell on Earth. And Plague of Frogs is massive, okay? So this is Volume 3. Look at this, folks. It's huge. They retail for $25. It actually has 3 normal paperback versions. So see, I have the Abe Sapien paperback versions, okay, that my dad got me, the Drowning, Abe Sapien. You see how big and thick these are? This is about 3 of those, okay, for $25. If you order it online, I think you can get these for like $16 if you order them online. That's like the cost of one of these, retail, $18. It's actually even more expensive. So you do the math, 3 of these and 1 of these, and you're ordering online for $16. You can't beat it. And that's why I commend Dark Horse Comics for doing this. It's because they give you an option as a collector that if you really want to save a lot of money, you can. And putting out these omnibuses of B.P.R.D. Plague of Frogs is just so helpful. You know, especially for me, I've been out of collecting for a long time. I want to catch up. I want to read all about B.P.R.D. and get into the first cycle of things with the Plague of Frogs. And this has helped me out financially tremendously. You know, give me the option. You know, if I want to get them all in floppies and spend a ton of money that way, you know, I have the option to do that. If I just want to, for some reason, just buy all the paperback versions, the single book versions, I can do that. So thank you so much, Dark Horse. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate that. So we have B.P.R.D. Plague of Frogs number 3. That's what one of the frogs looks like, by the way. And then I have B.P.R.D. Plague of Frogs number 4. Again, predominantly Guy Davis doing the art, John Arcudi doing the storytelling, and Dave Stewart, who is like involved in every Hellboy or Abe Sapien or Dark Horse project, it seems, ever. Just, you know, kind of quirky looking artwork. But I love it. I'm not sure if that's Guy Davis, because there are going to be some different artists in here as well. But he primarily was the man during the whole Plague of Frogs cycle. In this volume, I'm not even sure what happens. It doesn't really even tell you much either. It just says, first featured in Mike Mignola's award-winning Hellboy series, the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense comes into its own with this deluxe edition. A story that began the first issue of Hellboy concludes with the B.P.R.D team set to permanently wipe out a subterranean colony of frog monsters. The team track down Mayman Sa's hideout, but soon find themselves in over their heads when old enemies like the Black Flame arrive to lay waste to the world. Now, if you want to learn more about Black Flame and Mayman Sa, I'm probably saying all these names wrong, read Book 2. Book 2. But I recommend just getting all the books and reading them all. You're going to just love it, man. There's the Sledgehammer suit. Gotta love that. That's what's going on right now with Johan in the current B.P.R.D Hell on Earth series. He's actually moving into the Sledgehammer suit. So it's interesting to see how that is going to play out. I'm getting all geeked out here because I want to just tear into these and read these. It looks like our favorite beasties. You know, here's just more sampling of some of the artwork. Again, if you are into monsters, if you are into kind of horror-themed books, you will love B.P.R.D. I cannot recommend this series enough. It is probably my favorite team in all of comic books. I like them even more than the Green Lantern Corps. And those of you that, you know, watch my videos, you guys know how much I freaking love the Green Lantern universe. But team-wise, I go with B.P.R.D. All right, so that's it. We got volume 3 and 4 of that. And it looks like my pops got me book 1 and 2 of Abe Sapien. And I don't know much about what's going on in here. So here's Abe Sapien, The Drowning. It says, a century ago, paranormal investigator Edward Gray fought and destroyed a powerful warlock off the coast of the island of St. Sebastian. In the early 1980s, the B.P.R.D's newest agent was sent to retrieve the warlock's remains. But Abe Sapien is ill-prepared for the dark forces that block his way. Written by Hellboy creator Mike Mignola and featuring the haunting art of Jason Shaw Alexander, who I believe is doing a new series right now put out by Image Comics. They did a Kickstarter for it, and I can't think of the name of it. Shit. I think Empty Zone or something like that. It takes place in a dystopian future. He does the writing for that series too. Abe Sapien, The Drowning is the story of Hellboy and the BPR mainstay Abe Sapien's first solo adventure. And Abe Sapien does have his own comic currently. It's up to about, I think, issue like 25, 26. Again, in that issue, they're exploring more about Abe's origins. So Jason Shawn Alexander, I don't know if I've seen any of the artwork that he has done for a Hellboy universe title. But, yeah, that definitely looks like Jason Alexander. I think it's called Empty Zone, the book that I'm thinking of that he's doing right now currently. Very dark art on his part. I don't know if he may be doing the coloring in this too. Nope, Dave Stewart. Okay. I mean, that's just a given. I don't even know why I said that. Dave Stewart does like everything for all these guys. So I can't wait to read this. So Abe Sapien's first solo adventure. Looks like we might have a cameo appearance of Hellboy. That is Hellboy right there. You know, he has to grind his horns down, much like a dog or a cat. You gotta clip their nails. Hellboy trims his horns. So I can't wait to read this. Alright, Abe Sapien's first solo adventure. Jason Shawn Alexander doing the artwork. I can't wait. And I'm sorry I don't have much to say, but I did not study these books because I did not know what books I was getting. So, but there it is. Lots of spooky corpses and stuff. I can't wait. Okay, and then I also got Abe Sapien Book 2, The Devil Does Not Jest, and other stories. And looks like there's a bunch of different artists and writers in here. We got Mike Mignola, John Arcudi, Patrick Reynolds, Peter Snyberg, Dave Stewart, and James Herron. That's like the crew, a lot of the crew right now of the current title, Rumble. Rumble, folks. If you haven't read this, yeah, there you go, Arcudi, Herron, and Stewart. The Killer Scarecrow, Rackrath. You're missing out on a good book, man. You are missing out on an awesome book. You could not go wrong with killer sword-wielding scarecrows. All right, let's get that out of here. Okay, so I don't even know what's going on in this. It says, paranormal crime scenes wreak havoc on Abe Sapien as he investigates a recluse demonologist's evil house, a haunted lake, and a sunken Soviet U-boat filled with zombies. Mike Mignola and regular B.P.R.D. writer John Arcudi are joined by Patrick Reynolds and Peter Sneijberg, I can't say it, and James Herron of B.P.R.D., Hell on Earth, and Turok fame. I've never read a Turok book, but I'm not sure if this is, you know, issues 1 through 4 or whatever of Hellboy, or of, I'm sorry, of Abe Sapien's own series. I'm not sure. I apologize. I imagine that it probably is. I think The Drowning was like its own mini-series that came out years ago. I think over 10 years ago. Lots of cool, wicked-looking art in here. Looks like Abe Sapien is getting munched on by some baby frogs there. Doesn't look good for him. That's the artwork of James Herron. He gives Abe a great look. So in the 80s, B.P.R.D. in the 80s. And I'm not sure how old, you know, Abe Sapien, how he ages. I've always wondered about that. Maybe I'll get some clues about that in here. And don't ever underestimate Abe Sapien's strength, man. You know, he may look frail, he may look nerdy and geeky, but he can pack a punch, man. As you can see here. And he can lose his shit. I mean, look at that. So you don't want to mess with Abe Sapien, and he's very smart, he's very intelligent, and I just love him in this book. That looks like a Rumble character right there if I ever saw one. That is definitely James Herron artwork right there. And you gotta love James Herron because he kind of brings like a cartoonish look to the books, and I'm looking forward to reading this. I can't wait. I'm probably going to read B.P.R.D. number 3 first. So, I'm excited. Okay, and then it looks like Pop's got me Red Lantern, Volume 3, The Second Prophecy. This is written by, I think, Milligan. Yep, Milligan, and the artwork of Miguel Sepulveda, which he does some great artwork. This is a nice, beefy $20 release. It's got a lot of issues in here. Captures Red Lantern's number 0 and number 13 through 20, and Green Lantern number 20. So there's a lot of issues in here. I'll say there's 9 issues. The root of all rage. Let me read this to you real quick. For countless millennia, rage is all the creature Atrocious has known. Ever since the android army known as the Manhunters destroyed his homeworld of Root, he has been fueled by an unholy hatred. Yet the architect of atrocious rage are still at large. They are the guardians of the universe, and their latest mad plot, their deadly, mindless Third Army, is set to eradicate all sentient life. But not if Atrocious eradicates the guardians first. The time has come for the Red Lanterns to dig deep into the source of this unquenchable anger. His journey will lead him to the Manhunters who massacred his world, to the demons who gave him his first taste of power, to the first Lantern who rebelled against the Lanterns, and to the treacherous souls of his fellow Red Lanterns. Red Lanterns are the Lanterns of Rage. That's what it represents. That's what you're looking at in this book. Lots of gore, lots of anger, lots of hatred. These guys lose their shit. And the thing that intrigues me the most about the Red Lanterns is that Guy Gardner of Green Lantern Corps fame eventually becomes one of the key players in the Red Lantern universe. So I haven't gotten to the point yet. I believe it's in book 4. Blood Brothers, I think. I might have had it right over here. Red Lantern number 4. I've read the first 2 books. I wanted to wait until I got these because I want to read the sets in order. But in this book, Guy Gardner is sent on a mission to infiltrate the Red Lanterns. He's still a Green Lantern at this time. He goes undercover, and I guess he gets in deep over his head, and he becomes like a Red Lantern. And he actually becomes the Red Lantern. They work out some kind of deal later on with the Green Lanterns where he actually controls the space outside of Earth. That was, I guess, one of the key deals of him becoming a Red Lantern or something. I don't know. I haven't read it yet, so I just know in passing. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. These 2 books will complete my New 52 graphic novel collection of the Red Lanterns. Peter Milligan, his writing can be a bit rough at times. I believe he wrote Terminal Hero, which was it was a real fucked up tale about cancer, and it had themes of child molestation in it, and it was a real fucked up book, and it was very challenging for me to read that series. It was like a 7-issue mini-series through Dynamite Comics, and I had a real challenge reading that. But there is Atrocious. It looks like right there. He is a badass dude, man. Badass dude. I really like the Red Lanterns. It's an interesting universe. It looks like there's going to be some big-time confrontations in this book of all different colors of the Red Lantern, or of the lanterns. You got some blue, you got some indigo lanterns in there. Green Lanterns, of course. So I'm looking forward to reading this. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully there's an appearance of Sinestro. Who knows? But I can't wait to see how that goes down. And I look forward to learning more about Atrocious. And then finally, in my long-winded graphic novel haul video, we have the Volume 6, Forged in Blood. This was another one. That's Guy Gardner, okay? You see that dude with a beard and a mustache? That's Guy Gardner. So before freaking Green Lantern went rogue in this current series, you know, the renegade Green Lantern right now, you know, how Gardner's got all his long hair and stuff. Remember that Guy Gardner did that shit first in the Red Lanterns. He went all caveman, Geico caveman on us in that series. So I'm not sure what happens in Forged in Blood. Guy Gardner was never the greatest Green Lantern, but as the leader of the rage-fueled Red Lanterns, Guy had a chance to make a real difference. He even convinced the Greens to allow his Reds to be the protectors of Sector 2814, which is where Earth is. Finally, Guy's anger and authority issues were being put to good use. But then people started dying, all because they trusted Guy Gardner. Now, Guy has decided that the only life he's willing to risk is his own. Luckily, the universe has presented the perfect suicide mission. The so-called New Gods of New Genesis are hunting lanterns in an attempt to harness the white light of creation, a power that will grant them the ability to remake reality itself. Guy Gardner has decided to stop the New Gods if it's the last thing he does. But when the Green Lantern Simon Bez, if you're not familiar, he was an Arabic character, actually an Arabic-American character who became Green Lantern for a little while. That was in New 52, The Black Hand, I believe. The Black Hand graphic novel. I believe it's number 2. Anyway, if it's the last thing he does, but when Green Lantern Simon Bez takes it upon himself to keep Guy alive, will Guy be able to rediscover hope? Now, I know how this ends because I started collecting this series at the very tail end of the series. I think I got like issues 39 and 40. But let me show you who Simon Bez is. the new Green Lantern in here, or one of the new Green Lanterns. Hopefully they have a good picture of him here. Give me a good picture of Simon Bez, please. Okay, there's Simon Bez and Guy Gardner. You see Simon Bez? He's got like, kind of like a cool mask, which is great. And he has powers that other Green Lanterns do not have, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but that's revealed in Green Lantern graphic novel number 2 as well. So if you're interested in reading about that, read it. And I love this because you have killer babies who can beat the shit out of Guy Gardner, if you can believe that. And I believe that this baby hurls a school bus too. So I'm not going to tell you who the baby is. I know who the baby is, but I'm not going to tell you guys. But look at that, man. They should have put that on the cover. You see that? It's about ready to hurl a school bus down on top of Guy Gardner. All right, guys. That's been my graphic novel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for my regular comic book haul. Year 2, episode 1, I guess. Go figure. All right, dudes. Happy hunting. And I love reading graphic novels, man. Much better format, I think, than buying the floppies, to be perfectly honest. So, just putting my 2 cents in there. Let me know how you guys feel. All right. Peace. Thanks for watching.